baptized, brought to church, immersed in Sunday school, junior choir, CGIT, youth group, and church camp, Sherbrooke Lake United Church Camp, that's celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. I attended that camp for about 10 years on various different levels, first as a camper and on to a counselor and different other kinds of leadership. I do not know a me without faith. So I can't say that there was one time in my life when I was a person without faith. I can't compare that to myself as a person with faith. I really don't know myself as a person without faith. And I think that is a gift, and I'm very grateful for it. But as I answer this question, I can speak with some confidence about the gifts that faith has given me in my life. Faith has given me a positive outlook, a sense of wonder, an expectation that there are going to be holy moments, if not in every day, at least in every couple of days or every week, and for the most part, every day as well. I'll give you one example from my life in ministry. There was one day that I was called to the hospital to be with a family whose father was dying. And this was a family that did not have much experience of church or of ministers. So I walked into the room, and they were startled to see what they described as a young woman. But at any rate, we talked and visited, and while we visited, the gentleman who was approaching death had that raspy kind of breath and was, appeared to be really drawing each breath with great effort. And we talked about how hard it was to be in that room with him, but how important it was. And I visited and got to know people, and then came the time to pray. And we gathered around the bedside. I prayed and I blessed the person, and I made a cross on his forehead. God bless you and keep you. And at the end of the prayer, I said, Amen. And the man gave one huge final breath and died. And the family was greatly impressed with me. Because one of the things that they had wanted was for him to be released from this battle and this suffering, and they were so impressed that a minister could bring it about so abruptly. This is one of the holy moments that happens quite rarely, but that has blessed my life and has helped me to realize that the world is indeed beyond my control and in the hands of other power other than just myself. And but sometimes this does have a downside, because I believe in that positive power in the world. Sometimes when I get into a negative situation that I need to remove myself from, I can stay there very stubbornly for a long time saying, we're going to work this out. This is going to change. I'm going to change this person. And it takes me a long time to admit that, gosh, this is one of these situations where God is calling me to let go. Faith has given me resilience. There have been painful times in my life when I wanted something very, very dearly, but it has been denied me. And when those times happen, I grieve, I blame myself, or I blame the other person or persons. I have sadness and feelings of loss, but in the end, it is my faith that causes me to wake up and look around and say, maybe out of this loss, out of this disappointment, there are other possibilities. Resilience is all about getting unstuck. And I have found that I cannot do that without faith. One of the most intense experiences in my life was my time in Korea. I offered for overseas service and spent 7 years in Korea from 1993 to the year 2000. And I went to Korea with a wonderful dream. I was going to become bilingual. I was going to be able to talk to other women ministers in one of our partner churches. I was going to be able to understand what faith and justice and working for God's intention in the world was like in another country. And that was a big dream that I was stuck in while I was in Korea. And what really happened was I didn't become the fully bilingual teacher that I thought I was going to be. In fact, I never progressed beyond broken sort of Korean. I was very disappointed that I couldn't be a bilingual minister preaching with women in the church and working on church educational stuff. Instead, I was asked to do a lot of teaching of basic English. And that wasn't part of my dream. My dream was to do ministry. I didn't want to be an English as a second language teacher. And yet I was asked to translate, to help students with their TOEFL exams, to teach basic English in English language Sunday schools, and I resisted that because it wasn't part of my dream. And I learned that maybe that was another possibility that God was opening up for me that I couldn't see because I was stuck in my own dream. So resilience is about the ability to get unstuck and to adapt yourself to the situation that's really around you, not the one you thought you were getting into. And once I was able to begin to do that, then I was able to understand the ways I was really being led to be myself in Korea with my language limitations and the other gifts that I brought there. If I ask myself the question, how has faith impacted my life? Another way I could answer that was to say that the gift faith has given me is an experience of community. The faith community of my early church, my summer camp, my youth group experience, and the community later that I found myself a part of as I answered a call to ministry, and that's the diaconal community. And I've realized that my faith is not an individual journey, it's a common journey, and it's a journey shared, and it's a journey that I have to talk about with others. And I am very grateful for the networks and the people of faith that walk my journey with me. And my favorite songs to sing are ones that talk about what God is asking of us. Not, Lord, listen to me pray, but, Lord, listen to your children praying. And feeling myself as a part of a common body with a diverse experience of dreams, but a common longing. And I guess finally, I would say that the gift that faith has given me is restlessness. For all the beauty and the wonder and the joy that I experience in life, there is also restlessness and dissatisfaction. I am not satisfied with Stephen Harper. I am not satisfied with Goldcore. I am not satisfied with the response of the international community to the pain of the mothers in Nigeria right now. I am not satisfied with the things that drive people to do violence. I am not satisfied here closer to home with the amount of people that have to go far afield and leave their home province or their home community to find work. I am not satisfied with many things in this life. And I find that my faith grows and is challenged when I admit that dissatisfaction and when I am moved by this uncomfortableness to do something about it. And one of the things that is most dissatisfying for me in this context as we talk about the United Church is I'm not satisfied with the place we find ourselves in as a United Church. I'm tired of talking about how the mainline churches are in decline. I'm tired of seeing the hard things that congregations are having to decide these days and having to do. I'm tired of watching the people around me say, we're so tired of fundraising. We're so tired of working and worrying about where our sustainability is going to come from. We're so tired of talking about are we viable or not. I'm not satisfied with all of that. And because I'm not satisfied with all of that, I look around me for places of hope, for things that are pushing us forward into better places. And it is out of that restlessness that I think we are growing and learning. And it's out of that restless energy, that dissatisfaction, that I have a sense that we are not dying at all. Because I hear a lot of complaining and lamenting and dissatisfaction around me, and that means we have not given up. So I thank God for my restlessness and my dissatisfaction, and I claim it because I think that it is in that restless place that we are going to find our way forward as a church. And so that's what I've come to say, and I invite you into discussion around the tables.